Hello beautiful souls, I'm Queen Bean Tarot, and today I am going to be doing a reading to find out what is in store for you from now till the end of December. I have this underneath. It's meant to be a different sort of layout for the Celtic cross, so instead of like it going like that, this one's sort of in a bit more of a circle and it goes straight down this way. So I'm going to be using this. It just helps people with the visualization. You can see each specific topic so you don't forget what card you get for which one. I do have 3 choices before us, and I will also be pulling a Cosmic Insight as sort of like the overall card for the reading for each individual pile. I will also pull some tea leaf cards, these cute little guys that I use and I love, and I'm also using Witch's Ruins, which I'm new to using, so we'll see how this goes. I might need to pull out the book to get, I only know these 2 ruins so far. I'm still learning the rest a little bit better. I do know a few more, like generally what they mean, but yeah, we'll get into that, and I will now show you your choices. So pile number 1, you've got the Ephemera tarot deck, and this is the rock. And if I turn this over, it's actually a geode. A beautiful friend of mine actually gifted this to me, used to work with her. Call out to Luna. Beautiful soul she is. And also when it's upright like this, it actually looks like an iceberg to me. Don't know why, it's just what it makes me think of. So if you like icebergs or something, maybe that calls to you. It also looks like a rock in a pond because they have these waves on ephemera background. I don't know, it's so beautiful. Pile number 2, I'm using the Insecta Obscura Tarot. These are all insects. Very beautiful deck, very square, unique. And this is our cute little geode rock that we got. Don't know where I got this from, honestly. I think I got it in, like, I bought online. There was this this online store that was closing down, and they sold a lot of crystals and gems, and so they just like boxed up a humongous like mystery box, and I got it in that. So I don't actually know what it is, but it does have purple in it, so it makes me think of amethyst. So don't think it is, but you know, just for whoever might resonate with that. And our 3rd pile is the Age of Aquarius Tarot. A very healing and slightly romantic, very watery sort of feel. And I have actually gotten this yesterday. Now my mother gifted this to me. It looks like pyrite. It might be. If not, and you know what it is, please comment in the comments what it is if you do happen to know. But very shiny, very pretty. That one goes with that. Alright, I'll leave you for a moment to choose which pile you will be choosing. Pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3. Hello my beautiful pile number 1s. If you chose this beautiful giant, I'm gonna call it the iceberg geode. I know my friend told me exactly what it was when she first gifted it to me, but I'm terrible with memory. So if you chose this one or the Ephemera deck, then this is your pile. I'm going to start off with a Cosmic Insight Oracle card to get an overall card for this reading. This is for my beautiful pile number 1s from here till the end of December. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn, an earth sign. Earth sign placement might be important. Look at the placements, or if you are one of these or you know someone who's one of these, they might be very important. And I pulled a 2nd card just because it seemed like earth sign is so vague. So we got pregnancy as well, which is very different. I wasn't expecting that. So I'll pop that over there. We're going to get some ruins. I'm just mixing them all about inside. Probably should get a bigger one. Okay, we got two. We got the moon, and I believe this is this harvest? I think it might be. So yes, we got the moon, which is the moon is a bit of a mysterious rune, often associated with secretive energy, and the color silver. Interesting. Some of its meanings could be long-term changing, transitioning from one thing to another, slow change, yeah. Hidden agendas, secrets being kept, the imagination, feminine energy, a woman in your life, silink motion, good, bad and bad, good. Okay, interesting. We also have this one, which is, I believe it's the flight. Flight is a sociable rune often associated with the color white or light blue. So silver, white, and light blue. If this is a pregnancy, maybe light blue could be a significator. You might also be due during one of these star sign timings. Let me think. When are they? I'm trying to think. I know Taurus is from the end of April, 20th of April till like the 21st of May. I only know that because I'm a Taurus. A Capricorn is like, I think it's a end of December, like 20th of December through to the like 20th of January, because my mum's a Capricorn. And a Virgo, I'm just trying to remember what Virgo is. I believe Virgo is it's like middle of the year. I should know this, my friend's a Virgo. August 23rd till September 22nd. So I thought I'd just quickly mention that. But yeah, white and light blues, some of its meanings could be movement, communication, the spread of information, traveling, cause and effect, methods of travel, cars, planes and boats, social media, networking, talking, word of mouth, and the news. This is so interesting because this is all very connected to, like, if you are indeed pregnant, like the colors, the feminine cycle, you know, holding information to yourself. Maybe you're holding on to the news and the, you know, the information of the pregnancy being a thing until you're further along and you're safe. Oh, there's another one here. Oh my God, I did not realize there was three. I know this is the man. The man. Oh, wow. Okay, so the woman, the man, and the flight. The man, yeah, is a masculine rune associated with shades of brown, so brown as well. Its meanings could be traditional male abilities, traditional male characteristics, action, fatherhood, being a protector to loved ones, being a provider, empowerment, confidence, strength, leadership, and dominance. This could also mean maybe you are having, if someone is pregnant or you're having a baby, maybe you will be having a male, a boy. Or that, you know, your partner is there supporting you throughout your entire pregnancy. Flight could be that you are withholding the news of this pregnancy. It could be that you're going to be traveling. The spread of information and communication. You might travel after having your baby to get to see the family. Networking, talking, word of mouth. Maybe there is some, once you tell someone, you know, that person goes and tells everyone else because they're so excited with the good news. Wow, I did not realize that third one came out. I love it when stuff like that happens. It's just like, wow. So you've got the moon, very feminine energy, the man, obviously very masculine energy, and the flight, which is communicating, networking, and information. I am going to be shuffling, so until the end of December. So if seeing this is till the very end of December, Capricorn is born through the December months. Maybe that's when you were expecting. It could be when you will be what's the word, conceiving. It could be because you had the moon, and it does talk about moon cycles, something about the moon cycle. Maybe you fall pregnant during the moon cycle, or your cycle follows the moon cycle, and you utilize that to get with child. You will be playing a different role. Hat, interesting. Hill, obstacle to overcome. I mean, no matter what you look at it, a pregnancy is an obstacle, because not only do you have to change your entire lifestyle, you also have to live differently. You got to do things differently. You don't get to just, you know, eat whatever you want and drink whatever you want and be doing, like, you know, anything your heart desires, because you have something important that you are nurturing and protecting inside of you. Lifestyle change. So you might also be afraid of pregnancy. That could be something. Or, you know, you're an earth sign and you want to avoid the pregnancy. Or maybe you just want it to be over and done with. That is very common for women. If anyone says, oh, you should be happy and thankful because I was when I was pregnant, it doesn't work like that. Everyone has their own individual experience. Spiritual love. Lily. My niece is named Lily. Thought I'll mention that. And lily is a beautiful plant. It's a white plant, and I do remember this has to do with white, I believe. This one's white. This one's light blue and silver. No, white, light blue, silver, brown. Dragon. Beware of self-delusion. I do know when you get pregnant, there's a thing called pregnancy brain. Maybe you forget you're pregnant, or you suffer from delusions, like very, very forgetfulness. Maybe it is you had a misconception that after you had your baby everything would be perfect. You were a little bit delusional about that, because honestly, after pregnancy, it's not like everything bounces back at 1000%. Let's be honest now. So it could be that maybe you thought after you got home, normal return of life would happen, and it just didn't work out that way. This could also mean you're taking steps to avoid pregnancy. Perhaps, you know, I've got a feeling like it will be a cycle. Maybe you cycle to a new doctor and they agree with you that they will do what you need them to do to prevent pregnancies in the future. Maybe you've had a few pregnancies and you're ready to wrap up. Maybe you want to go live your life, you know, go on flights, travel and stuff, and you can't, because if you fall pregnant again, that puts a wrench in your plans, and you want to sort of become safe in that place. This is also for men. If you want to prevent getting a woman pregnant, maybe you're going to get your tubes tied or something, because there is a man here as well. Maybe, you know, you're meeting a man and you're talking about, you know, future plans and pregnancies and stuff, and he just happens to be an earth sign, you happen to be an earth sign. So yeah, maybe an earth sign could be the doctor, because it's not like you meet a doctor and you go, hey doctor, what's your earth signs? It doesn't quite work that way. So yeah, perhaps your doctor who is listening and giving you care is going to be one of those star signs as well. I have a doctor who's helping me out. Don't know their earth sign, but you know, it is what it is. We have present self, alchemist. Believe the Alchemist. This is a deck that does have different titles. I'm pretty sure the Alchemist is your magician. The problem is Victor. I believe that's victory. I'm gonna go conscious, unconscious, past, future, and we're gonna focus on this one. So consciously, the Ace of Wands, you are lit up consciously. You're excited about something. There's something you're really doing that you're excited about. I believe this is the Knight of Wands. I'll double check that. The Page of Pentacles for your past. Interesting. Very, very interesting. I'll get all your cards out and then we'll go through it all. your future. If I get a few for your future, I'm fine with that. But if, oh, well, there you go. I called it, apparently. Death. Your future is death and the 5 of Wands. Now, death doesn't always mean a death. It probably means an end of a cycle, start of a new one. Your external influences, so the people and the world around you, your society, your environment, the people who are supporting you. You have the 9 of Pentacles. That's lovely. I'm going to go to your influence. So this is how you influence your life and the people around you and your surroundings. This is your, like, if you're an influencer, how do you influence yourself and the others around you, your situation? So what is your influence? I could tell that was going to fall the moment I again lifted it. You're the 9 of Cups. Okay, beautiful. So you're very cup half full, very positive, very happy. You look at everything very positive. You influence people by being happy and positive. You might be a shining sun, and you're very bright and happy, and your cups are full. You're feeling energetic. So these ones fell down on my lap first, so I'm gonna get your hopes and your fears. The fact that 2 came out is very fitting, because hopes and fears, I've always said, you don't just have one fear and you don't just have one hope. So I like to get a few for hopes and fears. We've got the 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, you might be afraid of, I'll stand these up, these 2. I hope you can still see them. So it's like feeling stuck or having money restrictions, feeling like you've got a loss. And the keeper, I need to double check that in the book. There's a few I do need to double check, and I'll do that very soon. And for your outcome, I believe a few came out. Oh, I did have it right. 8 of Swords and Defiance. Okay. Interesting. 8 of Swords and Defiance. Alrighty. So, this is you currently. I feel like, so the Alchemist is similar to the Magician. However, it's also similar to the High Priestess. So you're following your intuition. You are following your instincts. I think you're staying in the here and now. If you are indeed a person who is pregnant, or a partner in a pregnancy, or you don't want to fall pregnant, you are definitely following your natural instincts and intuition. Victory, so the problem. I think you are actually scared of the outcome. I think you're scared for it to be done. I think you're excited and you want to reach the finish line. Like you want to succeed and finish, like you're doing a marathon. You need to hit the finish line, but you're also scared to reach the finish line, and that makes me think of beware the self-delusion. Perhaps you had a specific thought of what to expect at the finish line, you know, and maybe you're second guessing yourself, or you're afraid, like, what if it isn't gonna be like that? So I think it's like you're also afraid to see if it's gonna be what you thought it was gonna be like. If this is indeed someone pregnant, perhaps you're actually afraid of the birthing process, which is totally understandable. It comes with, you know, it can be dangerous. It is scary, especially if you've never experienced before, and every time you do experience something like that, it is unique every single time, very different every single time. Also, the fact that, you know, if you are going through steps to prevent pregnancy permanently, or tubes tied or something, that is something different, and it is always scary. And even though you may know the best thing for you is to not go through pregnancy, to not experience that, and if that is indeed 100% the case, it's okay to feel sad. It's okay to feel a very specific way when you take that away, even though it's for the best, even though you know it's the best. It's okay to feel emotional and, you know, to have those deep thoughts and feelings where you might feel upset that it's now over and done with, like that part of your life might be gone. Just for some people. The Ace of Wands is being passionate. Maybe you're very excited, like you're in the current here and now consciously, you're excited. This is the Knight of Wands. So I think underneath it all, you are quite passionate. You're very curious. You're very, very interested to see the outcome. So these are very similar. That's very rare to happen. Like, I've had it happen a few times, but it's not that common. Typically your unconscious is the opposite of your conscious, because what you do not notice or see, your unconscious filters and goes through it. It's like the deepest side of your psyche, and your active brain, like the way you think, it typically the unconscious picks up on everything that your conscious self doesn't. However, you seem to be on a very good wavelength, so I do see maybe we are a little bit afraid for things to, you know, be done, be over and done with, to be completed. In the past, so your Page of Coins, or Page of Pentacles, is about new opportunities. It's being determined and studious, being very steady, seeing something new and going for it. Maybe someone offered you something, or you received something, some money or something, and you went with this, like find a little nugget of gold, like how we're standing there. Very different. So maybe you had some good luck in your past, maybe you had some good opportunities given to you, maybe even, you know, this process you're now going through can be a result from this. Maybe you met someone, got married, and now you're having a family. Or maybe, you know, you experienced a life experience which allowed you to know definitely pregnancy isn't in the cards for you. Your future shows death, which is the ending of a cycle and the beginning of something new. So it can be an ending, a transformation. You can be transforming your physical body. It is a change, but it is something that I feel like is inevitable. It's an inevitability that change happens. That is the way life is experienced. We change from time to time. And this is the Five of Wands. The Five of Wands could mean that it's causing conflict. You might feel like you have competition. This is making me think if there's like you and someone else is pregnant in the family, and everyone sort of in the family pitches against each other, like, oh, who's going to have their baby first? You know, that sort of feeling I'm getting. If it indeed is competition. If it isn't like competition, it turns out to be conflict. Maybe I don't like delivering bad news. I am always honest. However, if this is a physical death, like there is a death, it could be the ending of a pregnancy prematurely. So like a miscarriage or a stillbirth. I just have to say what is showing, because it could cause conflict where there's, I feel like pointing fingers. That's the first thing I'm seeing. Like I'm seeing a big finger being pointed, like, you know, like when you're yelling at someone, and it's not like shame on you, it's like they're pointing at you as if you're a perpetrator or a culprit, like in a way. And you're not, but that's like an image. Again, that's for a very, very small part, like 1% of this reading, so it's probably for one person. I'm also I'm also getting that like there can be, because it is the wands, it could be an ambition. Maybe, you know, the ending of a cycle. If this is indeed pregnancy, you do go through your pregnancy and you finish your pregnancy, right? You have your birth. Maybe you get a massive washover of you of ambition, and you love being a parent. If someone else is in the family, maybe you step up and you love being an aunt, an uncle, a sister, a brother, a cousin, you know, anything like that, grandmother, grandfather. But it's also, I'm getting this is mostly for a parent. If you are indeed taking precautions to not fall pregnant, you might feel a little bit down after a procedure to stop pregnancy, and that is normal. Male or female, everyone's going to second guess themselves. You're going to think of all the possibilities that could have happened if you had children. You're going to think of all the positive things that is now gone, and that is perfectly normal. Actually, any medical place, any doctor, anyone who's you know, specialist in that field who deals with, like, you know, stopping, preventing, getting rid of pregnancies and birthing and stuff like that, or helping out with that, when you do get I think, like for women, when you get your tubes tied or when you get something permanently done, in the paperwork they do say that you're to expect, like they tell you, please expect to feel sad, to feel a lot of emotions, to be processing a lot, and you may cry, you may feel down, you may go through a bit of depression, because your hormones are also massively can be affected by it as well. And it is a huge life choice, not just for you, but for your future lineage, or lack of. Anyway, if that is the case, I feel like it's a cycle of change. You might not even feel sad. You might feel excited. You might have ambition and feel like, yes, now I can live my life and I can do the job I want. I don't need to think about falling pregnant. I don't need to think about taking maternity or paternity leave. I don't need to worry about, like, you know, would my partner pass in childbirth and I'd be a single dad or mother or parent, you know, non-gender specific. So I feel like that might, you know, put you into a competitive state at work, or you'll be super ambitious or excited. Maybe if you do this without, you know, talking to your partner, could cause conflict. But I've got like a few different paths that are showing up to me for a few in the collective. There's ones where it's like you losing a child. There's ones where you are the pregnant couple. There's ones where you might want to prevent this pregnancy, and there's ones where it could be someone else in your family who is pregnant. You might be helping this person get through their pregnancy, hence reaching their victory. And the problem is that maybe they're afraid of that ending, and you're trying to keep them very positive, and you're staying very positive for them, and you're being everything that they need you to be when they're probably hormonal and feeling terrible and pulled down. However, external influences, everyone is so supportive and happy for you. This is the 9 of Pentacles. Your 9 of Pentacles is all about security. It's about abundance, but it's also about comfort. So you're probably very comfortable with finances as well. You don't have too many, like you have a Page of Pentacles here. In the past, you could have had a really nice setup in a job, in a position, in a career, and that is something you can continue or return to after this event. I am feeling like there's a lot of pregnancy, and if it's not exactly pregnancy, like you're expecting something, maybe you're becoming a pet parent. That can be something. It is a lot to do. Like, you have to find the right, you know, fur baby, and you need to go adopt them, and then you need to get them settled into being part of the family and bonding with them and getting them everything they need. I've had so many people who I have heard of or, you know where I myself had my own puppy. He wasn't a puppy, but he was fully grown, but he was my baby. And I actually had to take a day off work because he got so sick, and I did not sleep that whole night. I sat up all night nurturing him, patting him, keeping him as comfortable, giving him anything he needed, and he was like violently sick. And you worry for them, you parent them, you take care of them. Some people, it's actually, I think there's a statistic where it's like humans are kinder to animals than we are our own species, something like that. So that is another one I'm getting, and like, you're really excited. That is for a few people, very few people. If indeed you are an earth sign, or maybe you're embodying the earth signs currently, which is very being very comfortable, being very stable. I think with not just your home and like getting everything ready for whatever this change is, I also feel like you're being very stable with having a safety net and a safety income, because your earth signs are very stable. They're very nurturing as well. So that is really awesome. So that's your external influences. So maybe you're safe, like you have a safe, secure home. You have a lot of people excited for you, giving you presents, being there when you need them to be, keeping you feeling safe and secure, giving you whatever you need. So if you are pregnant, like you're having the baby shower and everyone, you don't need to actually get anything now because everyone bought literally everything you would ever need. Your influence though, so you actually have the Nine of Cups, and that is like, you are happy, you're excited. I think I mentioned when I first pulled it that you are very cup half full. You feel like your cups are overflowing, you have so much abundance. You have like, it's like, this is called the wish granting card, because all your cups are full, everything good is coming your way. Like, look how many, but it's also like, I can see an octopus with all its hands, like all its tentacles are full, like it's got a cup in every single like limb. So you could also be like, every part of your life you're seeing it as like very abundant, very full, very happy. You feel prosperous in every single section of your life, so you're very content, very happy. You feel like you've struck the lottery, like you feel so happy. It doesn't mean you don't have issues going on, it just means this is what you feel, and this is how people are probably viewing you. You're probably only talking about positive things right now. So when we come up to your hopes and fears, I think that you worry about maybe finances. Maybe you worry if something goes wrong and you get stuck and you can't go back to work, if something medically happens. This can also mean, you know, you feel no control over your finances or your income or a security, because in the world we live in, money is security. Money can pretty much get anything happening or going, or keep you safe. It keeps a house, a roof over your head. It keeps food in your belly. It keeps the lights on. It keeps electricity. It keeps you warm. Keeps you entertained. It keeps you safe and healthy. You know, it keeps you medically protected. You know, money pretty much runs every part of our life now. So you might be worried. You might be worried about getting stuck. After this process, like, what if something bad happens during the operation? What if something bad happens to my puppy? What if something bad happens to my child? What if the company is like, nah, maternity leave's too long, they get a replacement and then they don't want me back? What happens if I run out of funds? What happens if there's a rainy day? And, you know, I think you're worried about that. I think that's probably playing a lot on your mind. I think that's probably why you're a little worried of the victory as well. You're thinking long term. And if you are indeed an earth sign, they do tend to think a lot about all the possibilities that can happen, and not always a positive. You think of all the negative things that can happen, and then you sort of think of everything you can do to prevent that negative problem from happening. It's like an active problem solving where you perceive the worst and then find ways around it before it could ever happen. Even if it doesn't happen, you want to know what you would do and have a contingency plan for it. Which could also mean obstacles to overcome. You're probably thinking of all the obstacles that could happen and then thinking of all the ways to overcome every single obstacle. I feel like if this is someone who is going to be a parent, I think you're going to be like, I'm going to be a mum, I'm going to be so in love with my baby, I'm going to be the perfect mum. And it turns out you have the baby and you don't get those maternal hormonal instinct to love on your baby, you know, like there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe you're just like, your partner is more the person who's all, you know, I'm in love with my baby and wants to take care of him, and you're more like, I want to go back to work. And maybe that can be a thing. Maybe you swap roles with someone, or maybe you look forward to, you know, maybe it's not what you expected. Maybe you thought you would go back to work, and here you are going, I just want to stay home with the baby. I literally don't want to do anything else but be a parent right now. Maybe that is it. Maybe it's you go back to work after this and they go, oh, your role's been filled, but well, we got this role if you want to fill it, and you end up loving it. I feel like there is a change. I'm not saying you're not going to love a child if you are indeed pregnant and going to be having a baby. I think it's going to be that there is going to be a shift that you weren't quite expecting. This is probably also related to this as well. I'm getting these all sort of connecting. Very, very, very connected, if I'm being honest. Meanwhile, for your hopes as well, there is the Keeper is actually unique to this deck. And it's about conviction. I believe it's like not quite defiance, but it is about like your heart's desire. It's like the value and your conviction for things that you are dedicated to. So it can be your desire for unity, love, and community. If you indeed are having children, having a baby, it could be you're hopeful for that love that you're going to experience becoming a parent, the unity. Maybe you're already feeling that. Maybe you're looking forward to spreading the news, and like these had said, like, you know, deliver the news, you know, the flight, and perhaps, you know, you're expecting massive, like all the family and friends coming together. Maybe you're looking forward to that, like to having that community togetherness. I've got a feeling you're very nurturing, so I feel like you're very hopeful for that as well. I think you look forward to it, but I think you're also a little scared if it doesn't happen the way you sort of have pictured in your mind. The Nine of... I'm pretty sure that's the Eight of Swords. Now, the Eight of Swords is about... So this is actually the outcome. So we have the Eight of Swords and we have Defiance. Now Defiance is also unique to this deck. So I think it was your Alchemist, your Victor, your Keeper, and Defiance are all unique. Now the Eight of Swords is about being in denial, feeling helpless, and feeling stuck. So this is about feeling stuck. That you've got this, I think, worry about, I think, like, especially I know for people over in America, when you have a child, it is very, very scary, especially with the amount that your healthcare costs, how quickly you're expected to go back to work, being able to afford having a child, the economy, the inflation you have over there. Like, I'm not saying just America, there's a lot of countries where that is, you know, that is seen in other parts of the world. But like, I feel like you're feeling trapped in. This could also mean if you're on paternity or maternity leave, you might get a little bit over the same thing day in and day out. And I feel like with Defiance, let me pull up the book so I can read Defiance specifically to you, because Defiance is actually, if we were to mark it with this, to like sort of put them together and read it as one card, Defiance is about daring, motivation, resistance, and self-belief. So the feeling stuck might actually ignite a resistance in you, and you might feel motivated to defy that. But it also, I'll read from the book on this one. Our hero is rejuvenated by healer, given clarity by seeker, and finds strength and camaraderie in counterpoint. Here, Defiance marks the pivotal point at which they must gather their newfound strengths and reignite a rebellious passion. So I feel like you're coming full circle. Like, I feel like you felt stuck in the past, and you've had a lot of passion, and I feel like you go through a process, like you are going through a very big metamorphic change. I feel like you're trying to stay positive, you're trying to stay, not feeling stuck, but I feel like getting stuck or feeling like you're stuck might actually ignite the original passion you had at the beginning of this, like your unconscious and conscious, and the fact that you're quite a positive person. You might go through a bit of depression, a bit of overthinking, a bit of denial of maybe how bad things are, or feeling helpless. Maybe feeling helpless because you probably are very, a lot of your earth signs have stability and have their roots. Think of them as a big tree. They have deep roots. And perhaps the tree hasn't had a bit of a breeze, and you've been so still for so long, you've forgotten what the breeze is like. And you get into the point where you're feeling helpless, like you're like, I'm not a helpless person, I'm actually quite independent. And you want to strike that change. I hear it very specifically. When like you have a blacksmith and they're hammering that metal with that hammer, that sound, that ding, that hard metal ding, that's what I can hear. Like you're striking it yourself. Maybe you're going out, maybe you're striking gold, maybe you're turning on your furnace to start something. You might get a creative idea, especially if you're home all the time and you're finding like you're just like doing the same thing day in and day out, and you slowly have to get back into the routine of being yourself, the routine of being you, of being, I've got a feeling you are a nurturing, creative person. Maybe you do everything for everyone else and you've forgotten to take care of yourself a little bit during this period of time. But I feel like it's like someone says something and it's like someone just strikes that metal and it's like an instant, like you snap. It's the one comment or the one thing that snaps you back into who you really are, and you start getting a move on. You're like, nah, this person said this, hell no. And you start working back on yourself. Like you start thinking about yourself. I'm not saying you're neglecting other things that are important, but you start putting energy and effort into the things you perceive that is important and into things that you want for you. Like it's like, someone's like, oh, you're nothing like how you used to be before you were a parent, or oh, the change in that job has made you boring. Someone says something that you take offense to, or is sort of like a wake-up call. That's what I'm getting. I want to get a final sort of outcome, like you. I'm going to use a different deck. I'm using the Witch's Tarot. I want to get one more card for this. I'm using a different deck just in case a same sort of card comes out. I just want to make sure I only read these guys and upright. So the final outcome for my beautiful pole number ones, you have the Eight of Swords of feeling stuck and defiance, and there's a few here. The Eight of Pentacles, Eight of Swords, Eight of Pentacles. You have the Moon and the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, you're having a creative spark, but it's also like craftsman and determination, like you're working on something. And I think this does have a bit more to do with you know, the shadows, your shadows, or the dark side of the moon, like your intuition, subconsciousness. So I think you're turning something dark into something positive, and you're creating something from it. Very powerful, very, very powerful. And this is a huge outcome. It is also a huge shift. I feel like this outcome is actually the turn of a new wheel, where the outcome is the beginning of something new. So the end is something new. The end is a new beginning. So that's the feeling I got. It's like, it really wouldn't have surprised me if the Wheel of Fortune came out, which was the change of a new cycle. So you have a death here, and then there's a change. And I'm feeling a lot of like, this might actually have to do with the cycles of the moon. Just like the moon, we have many different cycles. You know, you have the beginning, the middle, and the end, but you also have all the cycles in between. So I have a very strong feeling that this outcome is a igniter for a new idea. I think it's an igniter for you to look at, you know, illusions or the subconscious, and like maybe your red flags and the things underneath that you're always like, I want to do this, but I have no energy. Well, I feel like you get a spark. You're working on something, and it feels like it's something creative. It could have to do with a new job. Maybe you strike out to get a new job. I keep hearing strike, ignite. You start something new. It's like the creating a new sword. Like you're in a craftsmanship mood. Like you're getting into something. But I feel like it's something where it's a real job and you can make money from it. So yes, beautiful pole number ones, this is very interesting, and it feels like it's a massive continuation. So I feel like this is definitely going to blow way past and beyond December. Like this is going to be a huge, this might be a foretelling for what your 2026 is going to be like. And that's exciting, my beautiful pole number ones. This was a much longer read than I anticipated. I was not expecting this to go for so long. But if this resonates, please like, share, and comment. It definitely helps the YouTube algorithm. And I'm leaving you with lots of love, light, and positive vibes. And I'm gonna see you all in the next one. Bye. Hello, my beautiful pole number twos. If you chose this beautiful Insecta Obscura Tarot, or if you chose this beautiful mini geode, I was about to say geode, then this is your reading. I am using Cosmic Insight for an oracle card, maybe to get it's mostly for an overview of this reading, and we are using this base as a like a Celtic cross to see what is happening for you beautiful pole number twos before the end of, up until the end of December. So I'm doing this right now in 2025, and we're in November, to see what's happening till December. But this is indeed a timeless reading. So if you know you get this next year or the year after, you can just say it's until the end of the December that is coming up. And because we're looking at what to expect, like the outcome, we're going to be looking a lot at the future and the outcome. So for my beautiful pole number twos, communicate and challenges. Okay, I am also going to be pulling some tea leaf for you. So we have communicate, compromise, forgive, and work it out. And then we have challenges, make a decision, work on inner healing. So let's see. Some tea leaf for my beautiful pole number 2s, all the way up till, I feel that one, all the way up till the end of December. I'll definitely take those 3. I'll just take them all. That's gonna be it. Oh, November, look, we're in November. And anything else? Yep, that one. Okay. You have a lot of the tea leaf coming out, pole number 2s. This was your first one, dolphin. Financial gain, usually coming from something you did in the past. Try and make sure you can see everything. Spear, heartache over what you no longer have. And we had a heap come out. Bridge, successfully overcoming a problem. Carrot, opportunity or windfall. We have November, and that's currently where we are. Today I'm making this on the 17th of November. We have clouds, temporary problems. And then we have fire, strong emotions, passionate love or hate. So it could be positive or negative. We also have stork, news of a birth or a new business opportunity. Pole number 1 had pregnancy and a lot of birthing sort of things popping up. We have that one. And then mountain, a major challenge to overcome. So temporary problems, major challenge to overcome, successfully overcoming a problem, heartache of what no longer have, and positive or negative emotions. So I'm sort of going to try and set this up in a comfortable way, because I want to keep all these ones that are sort of relatable in the one area. And we do have a lot of positive ones. I am also pulling some ruins for you. I don't know if I'm runes. I always say ruins and I don't know why, but runes for you. I'm pulling some runes, my beautiful people. Ruins. Oh gosh. Anyway, let's see if we can get this all to fit. And oh, you got 4. Okay, at least I saw them this time. In the last pile, I did not get all 4. Like, I got 3, but I only saw 2 until I realized, oh snap, there's actually, 3. Okay, what do we have? Okay, so last guys had this one as well. This is called Flight. It is connected to, I believe, white and light blue. Pretty sure this is Harvest. I'm gonna double check all these anyway. I need to double check that one, and I believe this one is the Star, but I'll read these for you. So yeah, let's start off with the Flight. Yeah, this is related to the colors white or light blue. It's about movement, communication, and you do have communication. Traveling, the spread of information, cause and effect, method of travel, like cars, planes, and boats, social media, networking, talking, word of mouth, and the news. So we also have, after that, now I'm pretty sure it's the Harvest, yes, so that one is the Harvest. The Harvest is a rune of plenty and abundance, often associated with the color green. Some of its meanings could be rewards, the fruits of labor, self-sustenance, good fortune, self-employment, education and gaining of knowledge, having needs met, good karma, abundance, the belief of believing in yourself. And then we have the Romance. So this one, like the 3 sort of little fan one, is Romance. Romance, like the rings, is a very bonding rune, often associated with hues of pink and red. Some of its meanings could be relationships, partnerships, infatuation, deep emotional connections, a soulmate, harmony with another person or group, feeling mutual love, close friendships, a growing appreciation, marriage is coming. You do also have strong emotions, passionate love or hate. And I think the saying is there's a fine line between love and hate. I just thought I'd mention that. And our very last one, I believe, is the sun. It's the sun, not the star. So the sun. Okay, so the sun is a very positive feeling rune, often associated with happiness and the color yellow. Some of its meanings could be the start of something new, making a good decision, choosing the correct answer, having good health, having good vitality and a good life, healing, good news, justice when needed, general happiness, and a positive end to something. So you have a lot of positivity, and there is a lot like financial gain, opportunity or a windfall, major challenges overcame, news of a birth or a new opportunity, successfully overcoming problems, stuff like that. So, and also you had passion, so a lot of positivity, and you did have challenges where you have to make a decision, and it mentions healing, and this rune, the sun, meant healing as well. Wow, so we have a lot happening. I feel like everyone's got a lot happening. Okay, so I'm gonna get the present self, and I'm using the most slipperiest cards I have in existence, guys. So we have currently the self. Presently you are the Page of Swords, so the honey wasp. So the Page of Swords is actually a very curious sort of placement. It is about a message. Maybe you're receiving a message, maybe currently where you're standing now, you get a message about something. It is about being studious, looking into something, having an idea and researching it a bit more. So we do have that. You might receive a message from someone that you weren't expecting. Maybe it's like an old boss, or someone looks you up on LinkedIn, you get a message. The problem is the King of Wands. Okay, so the King of Wands is actually your King of Fire, so the fire signs. So think Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, your fire signs. And also your King of Wands is a very, passionate. They're very empowering, successful, and they're very confident, but they're also, you typically see them as CEOs, bosses. They're very successful, and they tend to be in leadership roles. Consciously, the Fool. Consciously, I think you are very adventurous. You can be quite naive, very innocent in certain circumstances. Maybe what you're looking at, like maybe whatever you get this piece of paper from, you might receive it from this King of Wands, this message. Maybe you're thinking of all the possibilities, the new information. Maybe you don't know much about the topic, or maybe if you're given a job, or maybe you can even be asked out. Maybe you get a love letter from this person, but definitely you're very spontaneous. It's a new beginning, it's something you haven't done. So yeah, consciously I think you're very spontaneous. You're looking for a change. I think you're very excitable. You like travel, and you're very interested in a change right now. I feel like you want to change. I'm definitely getting that, considering you also have flight, and romance, and the sun, and you have the harvest. The harvest is making me think like you really want a change. and you are communicating with someone. So unconsciously, you have the Champion of Blades, Bold-Faced Hornet. So your champion is your Knight of Swords, and that's like you're very ambitious, daring. I feel like maybe a little bit your conscious and subconscious, like your unconscious mind, is working a lot the same. I feel like maybe you've been sitting in the same place for a while and you're looking for a change. Your past self. Oh, no, too much. Spirit, what are you doing to me? The past for my beautiful pole number 2s. With too much going on right now. Judgment. Okay, you had a calling to do something. You definitely, I feel like you had an opportunity to do something maybe you weren't really expecting, to feel called to something. It is about like making a choice, awakening, maybe reflecting. Maybe this past card is talking about you to telling you to look back. I'm hearing what's that song? History never repeats, I tell myself before I go to bed. Oh, I know them and I can't even think of them. No, it's not Split Ends, is it? Is it Split Ends? Oh, it's killing me, but like, I'm hearing that like, don't let history repeat itself. So look back and learn from your past. So because there is reflection, judgment does mean to reflect, but it does also mean, you know, self-realization, awakening, like a renewal. So maybe you had an awakening, you realized what you wanted to do, and this could be you going after that. The future. Now we're going to focus on the future and the outcome the most, which is what I previously mentioned, because we are looking about leading up to December of whenever you are tuning into this, whether it's a week from now, a month from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, you know, whenever. So the future for my beautiful pole number 2s, it shows the beautiful little mini pyrite. Could feel them wanting to pop out immediately. You got the World, and you got the 7 of Orbs, which is your Pentacles. Alrighty, so I feel like in the future you're definitely working. Growth, patience, and gratitude is typically what this is about. It's like slowly working on your harvest. Like you're not quite there yet. You know, you can't. There was harvest as well. This means harvest. You're not quite ready to be pulling up the harvest because it's not quite ripe yet. It's not ready to go out. And the World is about accomplishment, fulfillment, completion, like you are successful. So I feel like in your future you are working on it. You could be goal setting and you've achieved the first main goal, but you've still got a little bit ways to go. So we will see. I'm quite curious for what this outcome could be, because you're still working on it. I feel like you're someone who's never gonna be done. Like you're always gonna be changing. You're always gonna be thinking about what tomorrow's bringing. I feel like you're a very travel based person. You love being spontaneous and living in the here and now at the same time. So your external influences, so the things around you, the people around you who influence you. Let's see. So this could be family members who talk to you, who get you to think of things. This could be that you are talking to someone and you're working on a relationship and it's everything you've ever wanted. let's get your influences. Well, external influences, and then we'll grab your influences. So what is the external influences around you? External influences. The Ace of Swords. Okay, so clarity, new ideas, and communication yet again. I've got a feeling you communicate a lot with the people around you. You don't just you know, go, oh, I'm gonna do this. I feel like you do talk to everyone in your vicinity. You get everyone's thoughts so that you can see it from everyone's point of views and make a good decision based on all the information. So your influence on people around you and your choices that influence your life and your environment is the Six of Pentacles. You're very giving, you're very charitable, you're generous. You do have good fortune. I don't think like you win all the time, but I do think like you happen to know how to make money and it happens for you, or you know how to make investments and you always receive back from that from the future. I feel like you give a lot to others. You might even put yourself into being broke. I have a feeling you don't like to ask for things from others. I feel like you would give someone the shirt off of your back, but you would never ask for that from someone at the same time. Like, you're too kind. Although I have a feeling you are a very honest person, especially with people that you know. I feel like you open up to them quite a bit. Ooh, okay. I always take 2 for hopes and fears. So the first one is the Ace of Orbs, which is your Ace of Pentacles, and then the Tower. Ooh, interesting. Okay, so I feel like your hopes is that you obviously want to be very prosperous. I think you want, there's an opportunity you want, or there's a dream, like you want something, like maybe a position or something, but you just want it to be handed to you. Like you dream of, like, I put in for it and they go, yeah, you got the job, like you, like as if you want it to be handed to you. I think you're very hopeful for a lot of things. Like you're hopeful for a new job, you're hopeful for winning the lottery, you're hopeful for you know, prosperity and money, and you're hopeful for, I think you could be ambitious to go for it, and I think your hopes are that you will achieve everything that you want. The Tower, however, is chaos. I think you're afraid of unexpected changes, things out of your control. You're afraid to lose control of the things in your life. I'm sure you're afraid of losing the things that you have, you know, achieved for yourself. Like if you've gotten a home, you're afraid to lose it, because like that can happen. It does happen to a lot of people where they can't afford their house anymore and they lose it. So you do have a lot of money and job sort of things showing up in your reading. I think maybe you're trying to focus on that. Even though you do have passion and you have romance, I feel like perhaps you're working on yourself to be able to support a romantic partner in your life. But I'm getting the feeling you're not quite there. You might actually need to make a decision and working on inner healing. So maybe you need to work on yourself before you will feel ready for someone. But when you think about that, if that's the case, you'll never be good enough. I feel like you might actually feel like you're not worthy of love. Maybe you don't feel very, like, I feel like you put yourself down. Maybe you have a bad inner critic. Yeah, because you had a lot of passion and love. You might already be in a partnership, and maybe currently you're working on finances and security and growth because you want to be able to support that partner. You could also, that, you know, you trying to support yourself, like, you know, you trying to get more secure, and you focusing on that part of your life is actually taken away from your romantic partner. It could be causing some communication issues. I don't feel like that's right now. So we want the outcome, but you have a lot you're doing. You are working. You are putting in energy and effort into something that you really want, something that is your whole world, something that you are dying to accomplish. You're working really hard on it. I'm hearing paying it off. Like there's something you want to get finished. Like you want to pay something off. You want that to be secured, and you want it to be, I think, like all yours. That's what I'm hearing. You could be that you're trying to, what I'm hearing is secure a partner. Like that maybe you've got someone in mind and you're trying to like, not sway them, but like you're trying to show them all the best sides of you, and meanwhile I feel like you do still think like you're not good enough for them, but it's like you're trying to sway them, but at the same time you're like, I'm not good enough for them, they deserve better. And while you're thinking like that, it's as if you're not going to acquire that partnership while you think about yourself in that sort of degree, like in that way. I'm also getting that if you are in a relationship, like I mentioned, there's going to be challenges. I feel like you might have an inner child you need to listen to or heal. For this group, I definitely recommend better communication. Just speak your heart is what I'm hearing. You need to speak your heart. I feel like when you do, you will get this sun. The sun will show. Your outcome is justice. You also have the 3 of Blades and the 4 of Wands. So the 3 of Blades is about, it can be heartbreak or it can be your healing from heartbreak. The 4 of Wands is all about stability, celebrating, and comfort. So this could be a new partnership, going to a family event, a family reunion, feeling fulfilled, feeling supported and loved. So this could be that you've healed after a partnership and you finally feel like you're with someone right. With your romance, for some people, they don't feel secure in their relationship until they are married, because if you're wholly supporting someone that you're not married to and they choose to leave, you're not going to get all that support back. Let's say if you were supporting them with money and a house and stuff, you're not going to receive back what you put in unless you're married and everything gets looked at. Like if they were to leave you and you're married, there's more safety, if that makes sense, like a safety net. So maybe you don't fully feel healed until you are married. And justice can do with a lot of it can deal with a lot of paperwork. It can deal with being fair. Justice is unbiased, so if you've done something bad, you will receive a verdict fitting for your actions. If you've done something good, then good karma will come back around for you. It can be about making a decision, and like I said, it can deal with legal matters, like legal paperwork. So this could be dealing with marriage, the fact that you have the 3 of Blades and also the 4 of Wands. It could mean you will be getting married and that's how you'll be feeling healed. It could be that you're going through a divorce after a breakup, or if there is a breakup, know that karma will come their way and you will be dealing with some healing, but you have a very good community. There's multiple ways I can read this. Because I'm reading for collective, I am getting, there is some people I'm getting a more of a stronger feeling for. Like as you can tell, there was a few people where I'm seeing like a lot of, like it was more for business and work and job and making money. and working on getting a new job, and then for others it's more about relationships and talking to someone. There is one more thing, because this is by the end of December, whenever you are watching this, I'm gonna be using this to get a final outcome for you on the very last day of December. This is the Witch's Tarot. So for my beautiful pole number 2s, their final outcome, very last day of December for them, for when they are first watching this. What is their outcome? How are they on their very last day of December? What is the outcome from these 3? The Justice, the 3 of Blades, and the 4 of Wands. I feel like there's a lot going on. 5 of Wands and 2 of Swords. Okay, yeah, alrighty then. So your 5 of Wands is actually, there is some conflict, there is, it could be disagreements and then having to make a difficult choice. It could be making a decision. This could be ambition and decision. This could also, I'm hearing for someone very specific, maybe an ex comes back and says, can we try again? And on one side, it causes conflict because you might be talking to family members about it and being like, what would you do? And they get really mad, like that person screwed you over. Or you guys really, like, you know, some people have some strong feelings and thoughts about it and it causes conflict. Or you were quite ambitious to be like, I want to try again, like we were so close to what we were after and that when we tried the first time, like we can achieve it this time. But regardless, it is a hard decision, yes or no. But when you make this decision, if you say no, it's a no forever. If you say yes, it's all or nothing. That's what I'm getting. It's like, once you make this decision, you can't go back, sort of thing. This is why I was feeling marriage. Like, I think, like, if this is for someone very specific, you view marriage as that is it. You never, if you marry someone, you intend to never divorce. You are a ride or die kind of person. Like, you're in it for the long run. So the thing is, I feel like we're not supposed to find out what decision you make. I don't even think you in that point of time is going to know the decision you're going to make. And look, even on the bottom, 2 of Wands. So it is decision, thinking of the future. I don't think you know what to do until you've talked to all the people you consider important to you and get everyone's thoughts and opinions. You think about the past, everything you've gone through, and then you think about the future you want. And if this is indeed for a relationship, the way I think of it, and this is probably some people might say stuffed up or whatever, but if you think like the person you're thinking of, if they were to die tomorrow, could you continue to live? And if the answer is no, then they're your forever. If the answer is yes, then you don't love them. Not as much as you think you do. So yeah, that is one way of doing it. Another thing could be having to make a decision to move on from a conflict. I have a feeling you might be cutting cords and walking away. However, I don't even think you know what decision to make. Even in that point of time, it's going to be like a split-second decision. You're going to follow your instincts for that. Hence, you have justice, which is fairness. So the scales can tip in either way. But I feel like whatever decision you make, it's going to balance things out. Regardless if you say yes or no, your life will go into a balance. So if you say yes, this is what's happening, it's going to feel balanced. You say no, this is what's happening, this is how it's going to feel balanced. It doesn't matter. Like, I feel like regardless, whatever choice you make, it's the right choice. There is no such thing as a wrong choice or wrong decision. However, regardless, it's going to balance, it's going to smooth things out. Like, your life will become balanced. Like knowing where you're going once you make a choice, it sort of balances out. It's like everything before is irrelevant. So now you're focused on this future, this path. So you'll feel more balanced. Does that make sense? But yeah, I don't think we're supposed to know what choice you're making. I don't think even you know what choice to make. But whatever it is, know that it is the right choice. In that point in time when you have to make this decision, please do think back to this. If this has already happened for you, please do mention. But if you click on this and you had you click on this later and you're like, whoa, actually this is what it was like all the way up to the very end of that last year, please do comment. I do like to hear about how this resonates for each individual, because I am reading for collective. These are general reads, they're not personal reads. So I try to get as much information as possible. It's why I sort of read the energies. I hear things, I see things, and I share them. But yes, my beautiful poem number 2s, this is the reading I have for you. Please like, comment, subscribe. It does help with the algorithm. And I will leave you with lots of love, light, and positive vibes. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello, my beautiful Pile 3s. If you chose the Age of Aquarius Tarot, or if you chose this beautiful, I'm going to call it silver pyrite. It's just so gorgeous. Then this is your reading. Sorry, I got really into looking at that. So I'm going to pull a Cosmic Insights card as an overall reading for you. We are going to pull some Witch's Runes, and I'm also going to be pulling some tea leaf for you. And then we are going to be using this as a Celtic cross. It isn't in the Celtic cross traditional design, but it has all the topics around so that we can, see everything that we're doing. So we got yes, luck is on your side, and let go, make room. All right, welcome back. Sorry, my phone overheated. The joys of being in Australia on a hot summer day. So even though I have the fan on and everything is as cold as can be, it will not keep your phones cold when you're in Australia, Queensland. I can only imagine what it's like in the other states. So back to where we were. Let go, make room for the new beginning on its way to you now. So let go and yes. It's something you just got to say yes to. Maybe let go of some fears. Let go of the past, I'm hearing. I feel like you're a little bit afraid of change. Now let's get some... Okay. So this is Witch's Rune. I've never had this one. This one is Harvest, and I've never had this one. So I'm going to read these ones from here for you. My beautiful pole number 3s. Let's see. We have the Woman. So maybe you need to say yes to a woman. The Woman is a feminine rune associated with a brownish tones. Some of its meanings could be traditional female roles, traditional female characters or characteristics. Healing, a person who practices healing professionally, like a doctor or a nurse. The Home, creativity and passion, nurturing, caring for someone, motherhood, or subtleness and softness. And then we have the Harvest. The Harvest is a rune of plenty and abundance, often associated with the color green. Some of its meanings could be rewards, the fruits of labor, self-sustainedness, good fortune, self-employment, education and gaining of knowledge. having needs met, good karma, abundance, the benefits of believing in yourself. And then we have, here it is, the waves. Okay, I've never had this one before. Waves is a flowing ruin commonly associated with water and the color blue. Some of its meanings could be being moved, deep connection to spirit world, going with the flow, feeling that things are out of your control, confusion, mystery, unclear answers, insecurity, and passing time, feeling as though you were being passed. Interesting. Maybe you feel like you have a spiritual connection with a female in your life and you just got to say yes to her. Or you are a woman with a connection to a man, or you have an unhealthy connection and you need to let go. One or the other. We've got this one. We got these two. Let's see. These are a lot. Ooh. This one. Okay. Just 1 second. There we go. I just had to close the door. I've got people in the house and I call this a house of echoes because it is too loud. So we got haystack karma. You will reap what you have sown. You will reap what you have sown. Interesting. Younger man, dealing or relationship with a younger man. Those characteristics could be specific. 4-leaf clover, great good fortune. I heard, on Futurama, great news, everyone, from the professor. Hills, obstacle to overcome. I think this was number 1 this came out in. If you felt called to that one. Dog, far away, a distant friend is thinking of you. Maybe there's distance between you and this person. And we also have feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. It could be, so I've had this before, I think, and like I said before, with that one, it's not that the person is trying to be undependable or that they don't care. It could be what you're depending on them for, like the circumstance or that topic. They aren't good at that specific topic or whatnot, so thus they're not very dependable. So it's like if you go to a painter and say, hey, can you help me fix a car, and they're like, they're nowhere good with cars. Like if you wanted me to paint a mural on your house, or wanted to do something else, like if it's not in their field of expertise. So that could be it. It could be that someone lets you down and they cancel at the last minute. That's another thing. Maybe the person who's far away was gonna come and visit you and then they had to say no. Maybe they have an obstacle to overcome. So the present self is the 6 of Cups, nostalgia, quiet reflection, and inner child. The problem is the Page of Cups, curiosity, enthusiasm, and imagination. So we then go conscious and then unconscious. So consciously you have a lot of choices, opportunities, and you're trying to follow your intuition. Sorry, these are really, really, really big cards compared to the other ones I've used today for the other two. Yeah. Alrighty. So your 6 of Cups is making me think of, you're thinking a lot of this person, you've probably grown up with this person. I think you're probably imagining this person and the choices you make with them or your intuition towards them. Maybe you're feeling certain things or you're looking back. Maybe talking to this person made you think about you growing up and maybe your relationship with this person. Your unconsciousness is a King of Wands, so you might be very confident, very successful in a leadership role. For your unconscious, I think you know all the things you are good at, that you're authentic, you're very motivational, that you're very smart. But the King of Wands is also a fire sign, so a Sagittarius, a Leo, an Aries. You might be one of these signs. Maybe you think very passionately in the moment, and because you're thinking of all the different choices, you're trying to follow your intuition, but you're also trying to keep your passions and your motivations in mind while you make a choice. You might be very calculating, and you're trying to think with emotionals, your mental, and what's best for you. Like, I think you're really trying to decide on what's best for everyone in circumstance, but what is mostly best for you. Oh wow, okay, this is a very specific card for this deck, so I will have to pull out the book for that one. It's special for just this deck, and let me pull it out and I'll read it to you. But that's your past, so we're not going to focus too much on it, but it might give some context to what it is now that we are thinking of, because you got someone from your past, a younger man, haystack, which is, you know, karma coming around. You reap what you sow. I feel like maybe, have you denied someone from your past, someone you've known your whole life? Maybe they told you they loved you and you said, no, I don't feel about you that way, even though you do. Like, maybe you were holding on to your thoughts and your feelings. I'm trying to find it. Maybe it's before. Yeah. Okay. So you had the golden eye of fate, power and destiny. The sign is a collective. White sapphire. The chakra's galactic gateway, Godhead. Timing when you were ready. Upright. The power to change your fate or destiny. I change my fate. So maybe you changed your fate. You made a life choice that put you on a wholly different path. Very interesting. I'll keep this out just in case anything else, because I think there's like a lot more, yeah, cards that are specific to this deck. So, golden eye of fate, your future. So we are mostly going to be focusing on the future and the outcome, but we're getting context for all these other things. So I typically get more than just one card for this, so I'm going to set these up. So our future. So this is to sort of see what's going to be happening for you until December. I am sort of making this timeless, so December from whenever you are. But if you click on this and you realize like, oh my god, December gone, this is exactly what happened, and you feel like, you know, commenting on exactly the circumstances, I do love to read how you read these or how they relate to your life, because this is obviously a general reading, so I read for the collective, not individual, and it can be very difficult because you have to get all of the signs and all of the energies that are coming through, not just for one person. the Ten of Pearls, which is the Ten of Pentacles. So yeah, long-term success, security, generational wealth. So I believe dynasty, setting up all your ducks in a row, supporting your family, and having unconditional wealth. It could also mean you feel like you have like abundance because you have like your family, you have your partner, you have the love of your life. So we also have the Knight of Swords, which is one of the fastest acting swords. This is external influences, so the world on you. You might feel like you are living by like a clock. Like you only have so much time until it runs out. You know how women tend to be like, oh, my clock's gonna run out before I can't have children. I feel like other people put constraints on you on when you should get married, when you should be successful, when you should have a house, when you should have your career, when you should have your 401k, you know. But this is, you are very determined, instinctive and successful. So I feel like everyone around you probably telling you what you should do, what you should be. Maybe I feel like perhaps you might be an air sign or a water sign, and you probably listen to a lot of people for their opinions. The Event Horizon and the Five of Wands, that's how you influence people. So shadow work and inner illumination. And then the Five of Wands is tension, competition, conflict. I'm getting a feeling that you actually might be someone's twin flame. Now when I say this, I don't mean like twin flames aren't always lovers, they can be. However, a twin flame sort of role is to actually make their twin flames see their shadow side and work on their negatives and work on the things they have to work on, and like realize and see it and work on it. And that's what they do for each other. They're always on an opposite frequency, like magnets. And then when you finally have, you know, because you influence each other to work on yourself and the problems that you have, like, you know, this is something you need to work on, you know, they tend to work on it until they get to, they heal and they grow, and you push each other to become better, and you make each other aware of that. And when you are both on the same wavelength, the same magnetic field, that's when you become attracted to each other, like you are both in the right place at the right time. And that is how twin flames can sometimes become partners. So I only mentioned that because it said shadow work and inner illumination. So it's like you're working on yourself. I feel like you influence your soul, you know, your twin flame, or you influence others to look at their dark sides and to work on themselves. Like you read people really, really well. The Five of Wands could mean that there might be tension because you say it how you see it. You might cause conflict, or someone might be thinking you're trying to rip them down because you feel competitive with them, or you see them as a threat. I'm also getting that if you do indeed have a twin flame, there might be a lot of tension between you because of the what's the word? Because of the energy that they feel with you, that magnetism and that fire, that passion that you put into others to work on themselves and to grow and to see. That is very, very possible. So I wonder, like, some twin flames tend to end up being friends. So this twin flame might be a friend. It might be the person who is far away. Your Hopes and Fears is next, and we got the Page of Pearls, which is your Page of Pentacles. Attentive, adept, and self-development. I feel like you are very hopeful to change and grow. And Knight of Pearls, so the Page and the Knight, but there's also the Hierophant. I feel like you want to, like, you're very hopeful for growing and changing. I think you're afraid of change at the same time, but you also you love it. You feel like you have a purpose. I feel like you're a traditional person, but it's also you love to study and learn and grow. But at the same time, I think you worry if you go down the wrong path, do you just waste a whole heap of energy on that? You might also be worried of what people think of you, but at the same time, I think you only worry if it's someone you care for. Your fears are very organic. I feel like they're a real fear, not like I'm afraid of the dark. It's something very real, like you are afraid to lose people once they learn exactly who you are or what you're like. This is a very deep reading, I have to say. Your outcome, my beautiful pole number 3s. Beautiful pole number 3, outcome. I want to get a few because I feel like there's a big outcome for you. Like, I feel like you're definitely going to get this in the future, because outcome isn't quite the future. The future is open. It's much further. Outcome is from these general events from here in the problem. That's pretty much what that is for. This is more your future, very far in the future, where you feel like you are. All of your like cards, when I shuffle it and it falls, it's falling all the way far down to the ground. I just wanted to mention that. But the Four of Pearls, so you might feel greedy, very protective over your money, a bit stuck, very possessive over your material gain and wealth, your money. Anything else for outcome? You might feel protective over someone. Might move these across. Move this. Number 3, their outcome. But you do have luck on your side. So I feel like ever since you made this, you know, destiny changing decision, that, you know, things have seemed like it's all been in your favor, but there is some stuff, like you have had problems and issues to deal with. But I feel like right now you feel a little bit stuck. Like you are curious, there's a choice you can make, but I think you're a little worried. Like once you make this choice, you can't really go back. And I feel like you can make many different choices. I feel like the choice is probably very in your face, like it's really obvious, but you refuse to accept it. Especially when you have like Event Horizon coming up. Ooh. Like there's something very obvious for you and you're refusing to acknowledge it. Blueprint. Ooh, I just heard you were possessive over your twin flame. The Three of Pentacles. Okay, so your blueprint is the creation of something new, never before seen. Divine guidance to follow your heart. I feel like you might have a contract with this twin flame or this person that you sort of feel a connection to. I feel like it's either you, like an obstacle to overcome. I feel like you definitely do not feel you're very, what's the word? Things you're denying this very obvious, very strong connection because they're a friend and you don't want to stuff that up. However, I feel like you actually have a spiritual connection that in a past life or when you first came here, you actually made a contract with this person, like we'll stick together, we'll, you know, help each other work on our on our negativities and grow and go beyond that. And you got the Three of Pearls, group, collaboration, celebration. You're meant to, and I feel like maybe you're possessive, like while you're not getting with this person who is a twin flame, they are your twin flame. It doesn't mean that you have to date them, but I feel like you feel possessive over this person. Like, perhaps they admitted their feelings for you and you probably said no to them. I don't know if you communicated clearly. And if that is the case, I feel like you're still possessive over them. Like, maybe every time they mention someone or they're dating someone, you say something bad about them, or you tell them don't go with that person, they're bad, or you put down like you don't want them to be with anyone else but you also don't want to be with them. I sort of feel that, and you're supposed to collaborate and work with this person, so either you have to say yes to them and stop holding them back, or you got to let go of them and let them fly like the butterfly they are. The thing is, whatever you choose, you have to stop being possessive over them. You either acknowledge what you originally accepted. I feel like the problem is, like, you might not believe that they are your twin flame, or you might not believe in contracts, like soul contracts. But you were supposed to work with them, you're supposed to be with them, and you're meant to collaborate and celebrate and live a huge portion of your life with them. Let me see. Final outcome. So I just want to see how you are feeling at the end of December. For my beautiful pole number 3s, how are you feeling by the end of December? The end of December, whenever you are watching this, how are you, like, in that very present moment? How are you? I'm kind of curious to know if you fully let this person go or if you say yes. Because if you say yes, I feel like you get everything you've ever wanted and then some. But if you say no, I feel like there's going to be a new beginning. But I feel like you're going to be alone in that new beginning. And I don't know if you want to be alone. I think you don't think you're good enough for this twin flame, or you don't want to be with them, but you also don't want to be without them. It's a little bit selfish, honestly. I feel like you are a little bit selfish, a little bit greedy. So you at the end of December, even if I get a few cards, please. What did we get? The Eight of Cups. You are going to walk away from them. Yep, you're gonna let it go. That is powerful. And I was only really getting one reading for this one. Like, I'm not getting a huge dive. This is for someone who has a destined path. I feel like you finally let this person go. So to anyone who might be, I have a lot of fire signs rocking up as of late. So maybe a lot of my fire signs are feeling a lot of passion, but they need to know which direction to go into. But yes, this is definitely, if you do happen to get with this person, I feel like perhaps it might not work out. I think perhaps you need to heal a little bit more. You gotta work on yourself more before you're ready for this person. I think you are worthy of them. I don't think you view yourself as worthy of this person. But yeah, you have a strong connection with this person. A lot is, yeah. But you will, Eight of Cups is all about letting go, abandoning and cutting your losses, hence let go. So the whole thing is, if I was to let you know now, the answer is to let go, but I've got a feeling you got to communicate that. You might have been sending the wrong signals, hence why the Seven of Cups is here. You couldn't make up your mind. And once you do, it's sort of like you've dug a hole, but for this other person got into their feelings, and it might actually ruin the relationship, or like this twin flame friendship you had, because you couldn't be honest, you couldn't let go, and you sort of held them in this this limbo. It sounds terrible. I'm not saying you're all at fault, but like there's definitely something that you have done that isn't really the best. With keeping someone, it's like you made them the hanged man in the tarot deck. Like they held on because they thought, like, you kept sending the wrong mixed signals. You have to let go, you have to walk away, and I think this is going to have to be a full dry cut. You're going to have to cease the friendship and any relationships, and you're going to have to walk away 100%, because sadly this person, you kept them in a limbo with no real communication and sort of breadcrumbing. I would say they kept seeing little signals that you were interested, because I feel like even subconsciously you were very passionate and very interested without actually acknowledging it, and they were picking up on that, and that's been what's led to all of this. You might find the right person in the future, or you might find abundance with money in the future, but it's not with this Event Horizon person. I feel like if you did indeed made a blueprint or a contract with this person, you're gonna have to break it because you can't make up your mind. This is why I feel like it's like either an air sign or a fire sign. Like you're flighty, you're too unrestricted, you're too, I don't want to deal with this, you know? You don't want to be anchored down, and that's why you're going to walk away. As much as I feel like you want romance and you want love, you also don't like the idea. It's like you have a concept in your mind that once you have a partner, you can't do anything you want. But if you have the right person, you can. Anyway, my beautiful poem number 3, this was full on and it feels very specific, but you will follow the path that you've chosen to, you were destined to. So, beautiful poem number 3, this is the reading I have for you, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.